So I have a crochet day today and I thought we could hang out together. Typically in a week I have a couple of days where I don't work, and usually those are dedicated to my crochet days, whether it's actually crocheting, writing patterns, editing, whatever. And I was in the habit of doing some little kind of daily vlogs of what I do on my crochet days, but I just stopped and I don't know why. So I'm gonna bring it back. But first we are gonna go back in time and we are gonna start off my day by going to the gym. Okay, I am now back home. I'm showered, I'm dressed. I did pop to the Asian supermarket because I needed to get something for lunch. And now I just need to do a little bit of tidying before I kind of start crocheting, because for me, I can't be comfortable and be creative in a space that's like messy or potentially dirty or anything like that. So I find it quite distracting. I need to dust my office desk and all of my little trinkets and crystals and stuff, and then I can actually get cracking. Okay, so all of my dusting, my tidying and everything is done, and now I can actually do some crocheting. So I'm currently working on this really fun Tunisian crochet project. It is going really well. I am obsessed with these colors. I'm obsessed with how it's coming out. It's such a fun stitch and such a fun pattern to work up, and I am doing like a whole vlog on the process of me crocheting this, and I'm doing a video pattern as well. So if anyone wants to crochet their own Tunisian crochet sweater in this kind of pattern and this design, then I will have a video pattern coming up. This is kind of what I'm working on today. I also need to weave in the ends on one of my sweaters. So this is the On Fire sweater by Made in the Moment, and I should, by the time this video comes out, I should have a vlog on the whole process of me crocheting the sweater. And I just have some ends that I need to weave in. I've done all of the ends on the sleeves and I think some on the body. I think there's like a little patch where I've done, but yeah, there's still quite a few to do on the body, both the front and the back. And so I have blocked this already, but I found that, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but sometimes, especially when I'm blocking like a thicker yarn weight, so this is mostly Aran, sometimes they smell. I'm just gonna be real with you. They you know when something is damp and you've put it away in your cupboard or something and you didn't realize it was damp, and it kind of gets that like musty damp smell? That's kind of what's happened, but only to like the neckline area. Like the rest of the sweater is fine, and there's no kind of like visible signs of like mold on there or anything like that. It just smells damp and a little bit musty, but just literally here on the front bit, which is really odd. And sometimes I find that if I leave my pieces to block on a blocking mat for like long periods of time until it's fully dry, it does tend to get that kind of like damp smell. So typically what I do is that I will leave it on the blocking mat for maybe like a day or two, and then I will move it onto like my clothes area, which is also heated, so that it dries up a little bit quicker and it's just kind of able to spread out a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know why that it smells not good, like to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't wear this. I don't know if that's like super gross or if that's something that anyone else has had trouble with, but once I weave in the ends, I am just gonna kind of wash the torso or the kind of neckline area again, and then I'll just put it on my heated area thing so it dries a little bit quicker. But the rest of the sweater is fine, so it's a bit odd that only like part of it smells. I don't know what the reason is, but that's what's happening. So I really need to weave in the ends on that sweater because obviously I want to kind of like wash it and be able to wear it. And if you do want to check out the vlog of me crocheting the On Fire sweater by Made in the Moment, I will link it in the description. So my plan is that this stitch pattern is really fun. I think this is a really fun stitch pattern to work up. I'm really enjoying it. I love the kind of rhythmic nature of the Tunisian stitch that I'm doing. So I'm finding it quite difficult to stop crocheting and start weaving in ends. So my plan is that for every row that I do, I weave in the ends of like 2 flames, because the flames are quite big, and I think there's maybe like 4 flames on the front panel and the back panel. So if I do like two flames for every 1 row, I feel like I'll be able to get it done by the end of today. So that's the plan, that's the agenda, and yeah, let's hang out together. Okay, so I'm just finishing up my row of one of my Tunisian crochet rows, and then after that I am going to weave in some ends. I do really want to weave in those ends as well, so I can actually, you know, wash the neckline and wear the sweater, because I haven't been able to wear it yet, and it's been blocked and dried for a good few days now. And for me personally, I'm like, I want to put that shit on my body immediately. I think as well, like, I've kind of changed my mindset on weaving in ends, because where I've been crocheting for like a couple of years now, I've got some pieces where I either didn't weave in the ends properly or at all, and they are like not falling apart, but they're definitely like, you know, you can see the signs of wear a little bit more than I think the ones that I did weave in the ends properly. So I think it's kind of like encouragement more than anything to properly weave in my ends. What's the point in me crocheting something from scratch, turning string into a wearable garment, if I'm not going to at least try and take care of it? Like, I don't know, it just seems like a bit of a waste of time in my opinion. But yeah, so I feel like I've really kind of like changed my perspective on weaving in ends, and I really don't mind it. It's still not my favorite thing to do. Obviously I would much prefer to actually crochet, but I think the fact that I kind of see the benefit of weaving in ends, and I feel like it's gonna help my crochet wearables be more comfortable and me be able to live the life that I want to live in them, I'm not that bothered about weaving them in. I think like when I was crocheting my hooded scarf, which if you want to crochet your own, I did a whole tutorial and crochet along on how to crochet a hooded scarf. I also have a vlog on the whole process and stuff, so if you want to check that out, I will link them both in the description. But when I was doing that was like just a bunch of like granny squares all joined together, so there was quite a few ends for me to weave in, and I was kind of like, oh god, it's gonna take so long, and then I just did it. I didn't even kind of like make a big deal out of it, or was like, oh okay, now I've got to like go weave in the ends. I just started doing it. And when I started doing it, I think I was like watching something, I was watching something on YouTube, and it was totally fine. Also, whilst I am here and whilst I am forcing you to keep me company while I weave in my ends, I have been seeing so much discourse online, specifically on TikTok, let's be real, about like pattern theft and sharing patterns and, you know, claims to people stealing designs and stuff like that. And I want to throw in my 2 cents because I have a lot of opinions. I wouldn't say that there's like specifically drama or anything like that, but I saw somebody post on TikTok basically saying, and it was to do with Petite Knit, who is a knitwear designer, I believe. I don't know who Petite Knit is. I am a crocheter, not a knitter. I just know that they have a lot of very popular patterns, and the designs look nice, you know, very kind of like casual, quite basic in my opinion, sweaters and wearables and stuff. I literally know nothing about Petite Knit, but basically I saw this TikTok of somebody saying that there should be like a way for people to share their patterns with other people, and I do find it quite interesting that the whole kind of sentiment on crochet patterns and knitting patterns should be free, or that they're too expensive, or that they should be shared, it often comes from people who don't write or create patterns or tutorials, which I think is quite interesting, because it really just does show that you don't know how much time, work and effort goes into designing and writing a pattern, whether it's crochet or knit, whether it's a written pattern or a video tutorial. I genuinely don't think that you understand how hard it is to do until you've done it, and until you've pattern tested, until you've received feedback about the pattern or the tutorial, until you've seen the potential ways that people can misread things or misunderstand things or whatever. I genuinely don't think people understand how hard it is to do. For me, as somebody who does write patterns and do tutorials and do video patterns, it's quite frustrating to see for sure that there is this sentiment that, like, firstly that all patterns should be free, and secondly that they should be shared amongst everybody, you know, like one person buys it and then somebody's going to share it on like some forum or platform or whatever. And for me personally, obviously there are like caveats to that. Like if you've bought a pattern and you give it to like your daughter or your sister or your cousin, or you're kind of sharing it within a small circle of friends or something like that, I am not that bothered really, because I think that's something that I would do for my friends. Like I would give my friend one of my patterns for free because they're my friend. But when you are sharing a crochet pattern, knitting pattern, whatever, on a forum or something for the masses, I think that's wrong. And I do think that that is pattern theft, in my opinion. And it's just theft in general, because sharing it for the masses, sharing it on a larger scale, isn't sharing. You've just stolen something and you've given it out for free. It's like piracy, really. If somebody was to pay for a movie ticket to go to the movies, go to the cinema, watch a film, record it on their phone, then upload it to the internet for free, that's piracy, right? And piracy is illegal because it's theft. That is essentially what somebody is doing. If they are buying a pattern from somebody and then, you know, maybe changing it, maybe even not changing it, but then uploading it to somewhere for free for the masses to receive, that's piracy, that's theft, that's illegal, in my opinion. So yeah, those are my kind of very basic feelings about this topic, I guess. It is one of those things where, like, it's quite hurtful for me to see, because I was like, oh, I didn't realize that people were doing that. I thought we were all being honest. I thought that we were all, you know, buying the patterns. If we wanted the pattern, we were gonna buy it. I just thought that people were being, you know, good people, and we were just buying the patterns to the things that we wanted. I didn't realize that people were doing this, and also I didn't realize that, like, people aren't seeing why it is theft. I implore people to try and write a pattern themselves. Try and do a tutorial themselves, because it's hard. It is really hard. And I think that crochet designers and knitwear designers and people who write patterns and do tutorials, I think actually deserve more credit. and that's not even coming from somebody who does it themselves. I am even just talking about other people, because there are other pattern designers who I think are severely undercharging. I think they are severely underrated, and they are completely underappreciated. And I think that people need to realize how difficult it is, and also, like, not take it for granted. And I feel like as well, if you've been on social media, particularly if you're in the kind of like crochet world, you are probably aware of the whole like Betty McKnit 6-day star blanket like drama of somebody basically bashing the pattern, the free pattern that she put out for this 6-day star blanket, saying how terrible it was, then rewriting it and then uploading it to the masses basically, so that other people could then have their version of the pattern. And I think that there was like a lot of back and forth with that whole situation. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I think people were overreacting severely. I think people were being very mean, specifically to Betty McKnit. I think there was a lot of bullying going on, personally. I think that's how I read the situation. It's one of those things where, again, like, she was putting out a free tutorial that some people enjoyed, some people could read, some people could follow, and some people couldn't. I do think it's quite crazy that there was such a huge, almost like an angry mob of people coming for her over a free pattern. A free pattern. It's a free pattern. You weren't even paying for it. Honestly, what do you have to moan about? It's crazy. Anyway, and kind of to segue from that, I do think that there is this expectation from people that everything is going to make sense to them. Everything is going to be easy to them. And I think there are some crocheters in particular who need to maybe be a little bit honest with themselves about their skill level and the way that they learn and the way that they understand things. And so yeah, that's just kind of my 2 pence, my thoughts on a few things and a few like topics that I've seen like in the crochet community recently that I think have like really kind of like negatively impacted the community as a whole. And I think it's like really kind of creating this like quite awful divide from people, which I just feel like is completely unnecessary, because ultimately we are turning string into pieces of art. Whether you are making clothes, whether you're doing amigurumi, whether you're doing tapestries, whatever it is that you're making, can we just actually realize that what we are doing doing is so incredibly difficult. It is so incredibly beautiful and challenging, and it's art. There's a reason why we call it fiber art. I do feel like everyone needs to scale it back a little bit, appreciate the art, appreciate the craftsmanship of it, and just realize that like this is our hobby, you know, this is our hobby. We're meant to be having fun, we're meant to be enjoying ourselves. There doesn't need to be so much like animosity, you know, there doesn't need to be so many like really harsh and quite judgmental opinions, because we're all just doing our best. We are all just trying, we are all just doing our best. There are lots of people who are new to this, and I think people just need to take a breath and realize what we're doing. We are just trying to craft. We're just trying to make something out of string, turning it into something beautiful, which is an incredible, incredible feat. I think there's a lot of really big opinions going on in the crochet world and the fiber arts world at the moment, and it can feel quite judgy and quite like a judgmental space, which I agree, I'm kind of feeling the same. It makes me kind of really like not want to share my opinion and my thoughts and my feelings, because there are a lot of really, really judgmental people. It's also really made me not want to like release patterns as well, because like I said, I think some people just need to be a little bit honest about like the way that they learn and the way that they understand things, and sometimes it might actually just be you. I'm sorry to say it. It might actually just be you. It might be the way that you've read it. It might be that you've misunderstood it. You've misinterpreted it. It might actually be you. Maybe just like realize that the designer is doing everything that they can. And honestly, I do think it's impossible for anyone to write a crochet pattern or tutorial that every single person is going to understand. I genuinely think that that is just impossible. Obviously, you ideally want to make it like, you know, for the majority, but there is going to be people who don't get it, and that's fine. That is okay, because that's why we have like different difficulty levels. And like I said, I think if people maybe a little bit more honest with themselves about their own learning, the way that they learn, and their own skill levels, they would probably have a better off time, to be honest. Anyway, that's just my thought. I'm going to continue weaving in the ends on 2 of these flames, and then I can continue with my actual crocheting. Good morning, it is a new day. So yesterday I just had dinner with my partner, and I kind of carried on crocheting in the evening. We watched some telly, and then he went to his parents' house because he is celebrating his mum's birthday. So I have a free day all to myself. My bestie may be coming over today. She may be coming, but if not, I'm gonna just have another crochet day. And so, excellent news, I finished up my back panel for my Tunisian crochet sweater. What? Anyway, the colours, I'm obsessed. Anyway, so I finished the back panel and I've made a start on the front panel. And I can't remember if I mentioned, but I am going to be doing a video pattern on the Tunisian crochet sweater. So if you want to make your own, you can. Obviously, it's going to be a little while because I need to actually like finish the sweater and then edit the actual tutorial, blah, blah, blah. So if you subscribe to my channel, I will have a vlog of me crocheting the sweater, and then it will have all of the information on where to find the pattern. I also did not finish weaving in the ends on the On Fire sweater because I didn't stick to my rule of doing one row and then weaving in a bunch of ends. So I really want to make sure that I get that done today because it's just looming over me and I really want to wear the sweater. But yeah, that's what's on the agenda today. Also, I straightened my hair the other day and I hate it. I basically do this like every year where once a year I'll get this urge to like, and it's not even like on purpose, it is once a year, it just happens to be once a year, but I get this urge to straighten my hair. And it's usually around this time of year, I can't lie, like the beginning of the year. And I get this urge to straighten my hair, I do it, and then I'm like, cool, I don't like it. It just goes so flat. Does that ever happen to anyone else? Like when you straighten your hair, it just goes so flat. Like my hair has quite a lot of volume, my hair is quite thick, but god damn, when I straighten it, I'm like, damn, who is this flat-headed lady? I feel like it makes me look older as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like looking at myself, I'm like, I don't look like me. Also, look at my nails. I did them probably about 2 weeks ago, so they're probably a little bit grown out and I've just like filed them and my cuticles are probably very dry. But I think they're kind of fun, you know? I like the look of the jelly and the like different multicolored foils. I think they're quite fun. I'm not sure how I feel about like the yellowy, ambery color. I kind of think it's giving like smoker's nail a little bit. My partner said it reminds him of amber, which is fine, which is good. I've had some tea which is probably why I'm talking so much, because if you know me, I don't drink caffeine very often, and sometimes on the weekends I like to treat myself to a little cup of tea. So I had a Thai tea this morning, which was delicious, but yeah, I feel like I'm on a drug, because I mean caffeine is a drug ultimately, and because I don't have it that often, when I have it I feel it. I feel it so hard. And it's so interesting because I think a lot of people who are neurodivergent feel that caffeine doesn't affect them, but I'm like, well, I'm neurodivergent and I feel insane when I have caffeine, so what's that about? And like for me, I'm really sensitive to it, so if I have a cup of tea in the morning, I'll be up until like the early hours of the morning. Like I had my tea today at like 9:30, 10, and I'll probably be up until like 2 AM because I won't be able to sleep because I've had tea. A singular cup of tea, I won't have any more. Is anyone else who's neurodivergent also have a severe caffeine sensitivity? Because I can't be the only one. I don't think it's a neurodivergent thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it is. But I don't know that many neurodivergent people who are also really sensitive to caffeine. I know people who are neurodivergent who take meds who are then very sensitive to caffeine, but I don't think you're supposed to take your meds and have caffeine at the same time, especially if you've got ADHD. So yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. So I'm gonna go crochet. I think I need to go poop. What do I want to watch? Oh my god, so I've been watching Shrinking, or I've finished all 2 seasons of Shrinking. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. Low-key kind of hate it though, because it's giving me like a bit of an existential crisis since I've been watching it, because, you know, the whole premise is this man who has lost his wife and is trying to raise his daughter on his own, and I get scared about my partner dying, TMI, but yeah, I do. It's something that I think about and I get frightened and I get sad about it. And so as much as the show is great, it has made me think about death a lot more than I would like to, for sure. And I don't like that, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. But yeah, it's really, really funny. It's so funny. And like, I think obviously it's marketed as like a comedy drama, but I really do want to emphasize how funny it is, because I am somebody with quite like a dry sense of humor. I also don't find a lot of things funny, like laugh out loud funny, in TV and movies at least. And so this one has actually made me laugh out loud several times. Like, genuinely so fucking funny. I would highly recommend watching it. I wouldn't recommend watching it if you have anxiety around like people leaving your life, because I think it has spiked that little bit of anxiety that was in me a little bit. But yeah, it's a really good show. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the 3rd season. And it does that thing where obviously it's like a comedy drama, so there are lots of serious moments and you're like crying and you're sobbing and it's like really emotional, and then it will like make you laugh. So you're like ugly crying and then you're laughing and you feel fucking insane, but like in a great way. It's like very cathartic to watch. Anyway, I don't know what I want to watch. I've been watching started watching The Night Agent because I saw loads of people talking about it on TikTok and how like the main character is like a really amazing man, and like I just don't rate men. I'm sorry. Call me a misandrist, I don't give a fuck. And I know I'm in a relationship with a man, whatever, but I think that's how you know that my partner is he's a good man, Savannah. Anyway, I'm not impressed by this man so far. He's fine. I think I'm like 5 episodes into the 1st season. It's fine. It's okay. I may continue watching it. It's okay. I don't really get why people are hyping it up so much, but whatever. So if you don't know, I'm a film production and cinematography graduate. I have always loved TV and movies. I've always been somebody who watches a lot of TV and movies. And so last year, I basically kept a list of all of the new movies that I watched. And I've been doing it for a couple of years, and so I kept my list and I watched 200 new films. And this is not rewatches, okay? This is not including like my comfort movies or rewatching Disney movies, whatever. This is all new films, and it's like either new releases or films that I've never seen, whatever. So I watched 200 new films, and so my to-watch list, my movies to-watch list is dire at the moment. Like 80% of it is new releases that haven't come out yet, or stuff that I'm like waiting to come out that's like imminent, you know. But the kind of list of stuff that I have where they've already come out, oh my god, there's nothing on there that I'm like really gravitating towards, which is quite annoying for me because I fucking love watching movies. So I feel like I've been watching a lot more TV shows now, which is great because there were a lot of really great amazing TV shows that I have now caught up on that I wasn't really watching because I had so many amazing movies that I wanted to watch. Shrinking being one of them, We Are Lady Parts being another. Oh my god, that was so fucking good. I would highly recommend We Are Lady Parts. It's amazing. I finally watched My Lady Jane. I watched Fellow Travelers. Again, you will absolutely sob at Fellow Travelers. It's so good, but just so intense. Beautiful, but extremely sad. But yeah, so I'm trying to watch more TV shows. So I'm watching The Night Agent, and it's fine. If anyone has any recommendations, actually no, I don't need TV recommendations, I need movie recommendations. So if anyone has any movie recommendations, please let me know. There is a very high chance I probably already watched them, or I don't want to watch them. I don't like war movies, by the way, so I don't want to watch like Oppenheimer or like 1917 or any war movies. I'm not really a fan of. So yeah, any movie recommendations that are already out, I'd love some more good films on my list. Especially if they're animated as well. I love a good animated film. Anyway, I've been talking for too long. I'm gonna go crochet. Bye. Have like a really irrational fear that when they're weaving in ends that you're gonna weave like the back panel to the front panel, and then because you've woven in the ends it's gonna be really annoying to undo it? I have that really irrational fear, and I think about it every time I weave in an end. And obviously I know it's like completely irrational because like I'm doing, I can just put my hand through it and make sure I'm not doing it, but obviously sometimes it's a little bit awkward position wise and you can't really do that. But yeah, that's one of my silly irrational fears, which I know is irrational, okay? So don't be like, oh, here's some advice on how to do it. Like, I know how to weave in an end and I'm saying it's irrational, okay?
There are 2 assailants trying to kill me and my friend, and he patrolled you to some.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh shit. Oh no. No. Oh. Poor thing. I'm so brave! I did all one side. So this whole panel is done. And I just have the other side to do. So not much to go now. And then I think with the weird kind of smart, I'm just going to bung it in the washing machine. I think that's my best bet. It is machine washable, it's acrylic, it will be fine in the washing machine, and I've already blocked it. So yeah, I think I'm just going to put it in the washing machine once I have woven in the other side of all the ends. Also, turn of events. So my bestie is no longer coming over, she's not feeling very well. So my partner was with his parents and he was going to go for lunch with them, but they've decided to have lunch nearer to where we live. So I think they're going to come back and then we are going to be going to Costco. I love going to Costco. They have a membership and I think they're going to put us on their like membership as like a family thing, partner thing, whatever. And then yeah, we're gonna go to Costco, we're gonna go for some lunch, and then when I come home I will do some more crocheting and weave in some more ends. Okay, it is a new day and I'm pretty sure I actually got food poisoning yesterday from the meal that I had. I was not in a good way. So I spent basically most of yesterday in bed trying to recover. I feel a lot better now. I'm still not 100%, but I feel definitely a lot better. But yeah, I finished up my day by going for lunch with my partner and his parents. We went to Costco, we came home, we chilled out, me and my partner hung out together for a little bit, and then I finished weaving in all of the ends on the On Fire sweater. So the sweater is officially done, and now I'm gonna chuck this in the washing machine so I can clean it. And I think I'm gonna leave this vlog here. So thank you so much for hanging out with me the past couple of days. I'm hopefully gonna do these crochet day vlogs a little bit more regularly because I really enjoyed doing them. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching them too. And on that, if you did enjoy this vlog, please give it a little like, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And of course, subscribe to my channel and check out some of my previous vlogs too. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.